It's July 15th, 2024. I'm going to do a quick update of today's writing session. This is the official second to the last chapter that I wrote today. And I like the way it developed actually. At first I wasn't really sure what I was how I was going to execute it, but it was an AI briefs writing day, so it turned out to I like using the AI when I'm not really exactly sure how I'm going to execute a chapter, and it just helps me think through some of the options that I have. And what I decided to do was we've been talking all this time about the story about this spirit conclave that was going to happen. So I decided to put that into the scene instead of going straight into the confrontation with Ufuzato and really building up that tension and introducing a new element in the very end, which could lead to a sequel for this book. The next book, I really got to get going on it. But this book, I feel like Gates of Okinawa, it definitely does have popular appeal. Like it has the potential to become pretty popular, and I think it's just because of the adventure aspect. It's got the horror aspect, but then it's got some interesting things to say about the nature of humanity. And I kept going, I don't know why, but I kept going back to this idea of faith. Faith is turning out to be a pretty big theme in this book, and it might be something that I go back. It will probably be something that I go back and expand on when I reread the manuscript. But right now, I'm just excited to have completed such a large amount of work in such a short amount of time. This is a huge record for me, and it hasn't been an easy time to do this in the middle of moving, and there's been a lot of interruptions. In the course, it's been almost 60 days of writing continuously every day without fail, at least at least an hour a day, but it's probably a little more than an hour a day. But it feels like I've really solidified the habit, and the writing is better for it. It's just better to have. It's more consistent, and it feels good to be at this point almost done. So I feel like within 2 days I'll probably be done. Tomorrow will probably be the last major chapter. We'll probably get the climax and have Xena make her choice, and then after that there'll probably be a post scene, which I don't know. I don't know what her choice is going to be. And this is what I like about writing fiction and just being at this point. I mean, I don't really know how it's going to turn out. And some people like writing the ending first. I've seen that advice. I actually just read it again on somebody's newsletter. You got to write the ending first, and apparently some famous authors do this, but I guess that works. I mean, it just depends on how you want to write. But for me, the process of discovering the story is just as important as getting the story done. So I like, hey, I don't really know what's going to happen. I just want to see whatever I decide to do with whatever choice that she makes in the end. It's I've got to make that ending work. And that gives me a challenge as an author too, because I think the ending that people will expect is that okay, she beats the demon, and there's some consequences after that, but they lived happily ever after. I think that's the Hollywood ending. But I like leaving my books. Maybe some people might not make it out alive, and that includes the main protagonist. They might not live to see the end, or they certainly might not get what they want in the way that they want it. And I wrote a good line today where, because there's some stakes in this. It's not just beat the bad guy and you're done. There's definitely, there's the fact that she's becoming a demon herself. There's the fact that the world's submerged. The ancient lands are dying, but there's a strong argument that the earth is dying as well. And so, how do you reconcile that? And there's a line that I wrote today that I really love. And main bad guy asks the hero, "What do you want to do?" Just outright ask it. Are you trying to save yourself, or are you trying to save the world? Because getting both is going to be pretty hard in your position. And what does she say? In typical hero fashion, I want both. I want to do both. And his reaction is, here you go. Your greed knows no end. It can't be satisfied unless you have everything that you want. But I'm here to tell you that you're not going to get it all. Or you may get it all in some watered down form. He doesn't say that, but that's what's implied. And I really like that because it comes off of a moment where the main bad guy is talking about humanity and kind of his views on the modern world. And yeah, what do you think an outsider might say? Seeing how we roll, it might not be so favorable. But that was the writing for today, and I'm looking forward to finishing up in the last chapter tomorrow.